Look at the sheer scale of the world we've built. Power grids, global communication networks, and sprawling cities that process millions of complex decisions every single second. But if you rewind the clock roughly 4 billion years, all of this vanishes. You are left with a wild, hostile planet defined by boiling oceans, toxic skies, and erupting rock. In that harsh environment, the smartest things on Earth began as something so small you could never see it with the naked eye. It had no brain, no eyes, no voice. It was just a single microscopic unit. The real mystery is how a chaotic, mindless universe engineered the ability to think. How did something so microscopic eventually build something so incredibly smart? The answer begins here, with a single living cell. It was incredibly simple, but it possessed one crucial ability. It could survive long enough to make an exact copy of itself. For millions of years, isolated cells operated alone. Eventually, they merged into clusters, dividing the workload. Some handled movement, others formed protective layers. This shared labor built a high-speed messaging network. Dedicated sensory pathways allowed the organism to react instantly. With the invention of the nervous system, life transitioned from passively drifting in the ocean currents to actively navigating the environment. Over millions of generations, those scattered messaging networks centralized into a single processor, the brain. Pure physical reaction evolved into active learning. You can see this shift clearly in early primates. They lived in complex family structures, observed each other closely, and used their hands to manipulate the physical world around them. Their environment demanded intense, continuous processing power. To stay alive, they had to memorize food locations, calculate the movements of predators, and navigate intricate social hierarchies. The relentless pressure of the physical world forced these animals to constantly upgrade their ability to process information. Intelligence evolved because raw survival required it. When early humans eventually appeared, they were far from the apex of physical strength. We weren't the fastest runners, and we certainly weren't the largest creatures on the savanna. But human brains developed a unique cognitive leap. We could recall the past to simulate a future that didn't exist yet, visualizing entirely new realities over the landscape directly in front of us. Thinking ahead allowed humans to look at raw nature and see resources. An ordinary piece of flint could be chipped away and engineered into a sharp, durable weapon. Our species began to look around us and ask, how can we make this better? This continuous loop of asking questions and testing answers pushed humans past simple survival. We were now intentionally reshaping our environment to suit our needs. Once we began actively manipulating the earth, milestones cascaded rapidly. We planted seeds, cultivated vast fields of crops, and replaced nomadic foraging with permanent agriculture. We developed language and writing systems, allowing us to store our knowledge outside of our own heads and share that brainpower across generations. We mastered electricity and the mass production of machines, scaling human effort to industrial levels. The human brain moved far beyond its initial biological purpose of keeping an ape alive. It was now operating as a tireless creator of external technologies. Eventually, we built computers to help us calculate and process information. And that led us to ask our boldest question yet. Can a machine actually think? We didn't design artificial intelligence out of nowhere. We built it in the image of the very thing that created it, structuring digital pathways to mimic the neural networks inside our own heads. It is an unbroken chain spanning billions of years. A tiny cell became complex life. Life developed a brain. Brains built humans, and humans created thinking technology. A microscopic, mindless speck in a boiling ocean was always capable of evolving into the intelligence that will build the future.